Good morning, friends. It's your old girl, Melanie Rose, here to share your daily aspects. Today is Sunday, January 23, 2022. And the sun, I guess you can see, is in Aquarius today, as well as Mercury in retrograde. We got some foliage in there a little bit, but I think you can see it. And it's Sunday. We've been in Aquarius for several days now. It's a good time while we're taking the step back and gaining perspective just to sort of relax and free ourselves for a day of the demands of life, the demands that other people make on us, that our jobs make on us, that our sense of responsibility to ourselves and to the whole world makes. It's okay, especially when the sun is in Aquarius, to occasionally just step back, hang out, gain some perspective. The waning gibbous moon is in Libra today. When the moon is in this phase, we tend to become reflective. We look back on how the past several weeks have gone for us, and we're starting to think about what worked for us in the culmination of our goal with the new moon, with the full moon, and what didn't, so that we can begin to Libra balance out what we have lost, what we are planning to lose, and what we hope to gain, and what we do have. Okay, let's take a look at the legend very quickly, and we'll get into some interpretation. The sun is here, and the sun represents our outer life. This is who we are when we step out the door, that person that people first get to know when they meet us, and who you are in your work life, your social life, and your civic life. After the sun comes the moon. The moon represents the inner life. That's more about who you are on the inside. Your emotions, your intuitions, those things you think, feel, and know, as well as who you are in your home life, in your domestic space, and where that happens to be. Mercury is on the page. Mercury is your personal planet for the intellect. So that's about your day-to-day thoughts, plans, and communications, and the traveling around that you do. Venus is your personal planet for love and money. In other words, how do you relate to those people and things that you value the most, that you like, love, and can't get enough of? And Mars is here on the page today. Mars represents your personal sense of initiative. So these are your three personal planets, right? Your personal sense of initiative, that fire that's in your gut that keeps you moving forward. Saturn is also on the page today. That's an outer, more social planet. Saturn represents the structures and networks that we rely on for support and our responsibility to maintain them. And Pluto is that planet that brings about the highs and lows of our experiences, the endings and the beginnings, so that through those things we're transformed. As for aspect energies on the page today, we have some conjunct. Conjunct tends to amplify the effects, I almost said voices, of those planets that are involved. Square is the potential for challenges to come up. Trine is a very positive, harmonious vibration where things should be functioning ideally. And ingress is a sign of transition as a planet moves out of one sign and into the next, and so its effects on us shift a little bit. Signs of note on the page today: Aquarius, Libra, and Scorpio. Oh, and Capricorn is down here twice, so Capricorn as well. Okay, let's get into the interpretation. As you can see, I've divided the page into two columns. One is for the inner life, that is the moon column, and that's because these aspects and transits tend to be very quick, and they occur to us a lot like moods and feelings, so they have more of an impact on our inner life. On the sun side of the page, I address the solar aspects and the aspects of the rest of the planets, because these take longer than the lunar aspects, and they have more to do with how we behave out in the world. And we start with the sun today. We will begin in the ongoing column over here. through the 29th, Venus is in retrograde. That means 6 days, guys. We're almost there. We're sort of the week in review of Venus retrograde, which has been the past 5 or so weeks. So right now, we might be feeling the transition. We might begin to feel Venus slowing down on its retrograde course, and it's going to appear to stop before it goes direct. So it's just going to hang out really in the same area of the sky for a few days. And at this point, it's almost like we're waking up from that retrograde feeling. We're beginning to notice a shift. So we're waking up to some exciting potentials and possibilities. It's a good time to begin making our plans, as challenging as that might seem at this time. And, in making our plans, there are specific plans that we can make, especially if there are any ties we plan to cut after this Venus retrograde leaves us. But also, allow for many possibilities when it comes to your romance and your finance, your love life, and also sort of your work and civic life, and how money comes to you, how resources come to you, how receptive you can be. How receptive can you be? And that doesn't mean you should take everything that comes your way. It just means being open to more possibilities. And then Mercury in retrograde is just through the 3rd of next month. So that's coming up pretty quickly too, that Mercury will go direct. For the meantime, because during Mercury in retrograde, we are challenged with our thoughts, plans, communications, or traveling. Sometimes our the equipment we use to do those things. It's important to maintain our attention to details, okay? Don't get scattered and distracted. Be intentional and precise about how you're communicating, about how you're making your plans. And, with all of that said, don't just stop communicating and making plans. Proceed. Notice the obstacles, step over them or deal with them in whatever way you have to. And then this one came in yesterday, and it's only about a day long. Sun transits are usually only about a day long, so I'm going to say day 2 of 1. It came in yesterday afternoon. So I just want to remind you that the Sun trine Moon is this point sort of between the full moon and the 3rd quarter moon here, where our outer life is in complete harmonic accord with our inner life. As human beings, we should be feeling pretty fully functional. So trust your gut. You've let your mind into your heart, so you really know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and you know what you want, and you know how to get it. So just trust yourself at this time. Then on the page today, in the Sun side of the page, we have the Sun making a conjunct with Mercury retrograde. That's at 4:28 a.m. And like I said, this is about a one-day aspect. Sun conjunct Mercury, okay? If we are going to be challenged in our outer life, work, social, and civic specifically, if we're going to be challenged by the Mercury retrograde phenomenon, if we're going to have anything get in the way of our communications, our plans, our moving about, our equipment, this is when, like, the intensity of it comes down for us in our outer lives. So let us do our best, trusting our guts, to handle the challenges with grace and to remain flexible and adaptive. Okay, it doesn't pay to be rigid at a time like this, even in your workspace. If you have, if you're like me, you have a certain way you like to do things, you do it the same way over and over again, so that, you don't get lost. You have a process that works for you. Challenges may come up, and I'm saying especially today and tomorrow, probably, remain flexible, adaptive, be aware that these challenges might come up, and still proceed through them. As for the moon side of the page, today at 1:21 in the afternoon, The moon runs square to Venus, which is in retrograde. So normally moon and Venus in aspect together, that has us feeling really receptive and desiring of attention and affection. A square would bring in some challenges there, perhaps that the person or people we're used to relying on for that attention and affection aren't available to give it. And perhaps, we're just being challenged in our ability to ask for what we need. Mercury retrograde. We're feeling challenged in our ability to want to get close to people. Venus retrograde. So those are all things that might come up. On reflecting on this, though, I noticed that, I am, and I doubt I am alone, sort of feeling the weight of some of these choices and changes that I've been going through during Venus retrograde. But understand that everything is going to be okay. All right. Even if you have to make some choices, even if you are looking at making some changes when Venus comes out of retrograde, and I'm sure a few of us are, understand that it's good to advocate for yourself. It's good to be precise about what you mean, be intentional in your words to yourself and to others, and maintain a positive attitude. Everything's going to be all right. You're going to come out of this just fine. And then at 6:26 p.m., what I didn't say is Central Standard Time, friends. 6:26 p.m., the moon makes a trine with Saturn. So moon in aspect with Saturn has us feeling, really noticing in our heart and in our home those structures we have built up around us to maintain our own support and our responsibility to those structures. And with the trine aspect, that's a really harmonious feeling. It's less feeling restricted and more feeling like held up and really supported, and that's a great feeling. So we're feeling good about our habits, the momentum and the proceeding that got us to where we are, and we feel self-sufficient, we feel self-supported, or like we're getting there, and that's awesome. So these are both approximate to our, I would say, like feelings or moods. They might bring in intuitions as well, and that's a good thing to be aware of, and bring this into your evening with you, feeling good about yourself, and allow it to inform how you do for the rest of the night. Okay, in the coming up column over here, we have several things, and that's because we've got this week and next week. So, well, really just next week. So tomorrow, Mars is going to make ingress to Capricorn. And also, Mercury in retrograde will reach its perihelion, or its closest point to the sun. And then on Tuesday, Mercury is going to go into Capricorn as well. And we'll have that third quarter moon in Scorpio that will ask us to start eliminating those things that no longer work for us. And then on Friday, Mercury in retrograde will go conjunct with Pluto. Fun, because they'll be in Capricorn together again. And then next Saturday, Venus is going direct. So what I want to say about this really quickly is, Mars and Mercury and Venus and Pluto are all going to be in Capricorn together for a while. And it's going to be like Venus goes direct and Mercury will go direct a few more days. So we're going to have a whole bunch of momentum with Mercury, Venus, and Mars, all of our personal planets, in the same sign, Capricorn, being ruled by Saturn, which also rules Aquarius. So a lot of momentum, a lot of forward motion is going to come in. And Pluto will also be in Capricorn. So that momentum is going to be transformative for us. That's what's coming up, guys. I'm so excited about it. I took a look into the future on the calendar today, and I can feel it coming. Things are going to be great. We're going to come out of this retrograde session, and things are going to move forward for us in rapid personal style. Okay, so that is our aspects for the day. If you have any questions or comments about them, I encourage you to leave them below the video here. I'm always open to have a conversation or to respond to you. I want to hear what you have to say, what you observe, how you feel about what you see here. Also, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share my video if you feel like you know somebody that it will resonate with. I would appreciate all of that. And I'm in a habit now of throwing a tarot card at the end of this every day. First, I'm going to refer to the tarot card that is on the side here. This is the tarot card that represents the first third of Aquarius. It is the Five of Swords, and it's a sword card because Aquarius is an air sign and swords is air in the tarot. So Five of Swords is, Five of Swords to me is very much choose your battles, and maybe try to rise above the desire to fight, to get down in it with the other people around you. That can be easy sometimes and less easy at other times, but really choosing your battles, and maybe sometimes choosing not to battle, so that you could be standing around having a nice conversation with these people, but instead you want to fight. So you're not having a nice conversation with anybody. All right. Let's try to keep it positive, friends. As for today, Sun in Aquarius, Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, waning gibbous moon in Libra, seeking that balance, right? Seeking the balance, seeking a way to be intentional and precise in spite of the obstacles, being able to trust our gut, handling the changes we're going through with grace, feeling good about our habits. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. This Sun conjunct Mercury, it is that day where if you're going to have those challenges, especially in your outer life, they're going to come up right around this time. But, again, just remain flexible and adaptive, and let's get through it. Okay. So here's a card, the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. So Pentacles is an earthen vibe. Pentacles is the earth suit of the tarot. And the Knight is a person who is true to their purpose. So this is a person who has some resources, who knows somewhat what they're doing with their resources, and can be expected to continue on their path, to remain dedicated to the work that they're doing, the growth that they're creating especially in their health and their wealth and their finances. So that's your encouragement to say, look, you're on the right path with your health. You're on the right path with your physical well-being, and also your physical assets, the wealth that you have. So keep managing those things well, and things will proceed for you, perhaps even accelerate, which I'm feeling the acceleration because I know that we're going to have that Mercury, Venus, and Mars all in Capricorn with Pluto. Gosh, that's going to be so exciting. So I feel that excitement in this card as well. And that is truly it for today, friends. I sure appreciate you joining me here every day. And this is Melanie Rose. I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more daily aspects.